When we consider the dynamic between Batman and Superman, that Superman is boring because he's too good and has all these powers and, he's a goody two-shoes. But Batman is interesting because he's a person, a flawed person who's open to certain, darknesses and vulnerabilities as he's trying his best to. We have to keep in mind that we only arrive through good through a detour of evil. Like, human freedom is, strictly speaking, the possibility of doing evil, doing wrong things. But it's only by taking that detour, literally or just, figuratively in our heads, that, being open to that possibility, that we realize what a dead end evil is, and we turn to good. Good is something that builds us up and builds up the world. It's interesting. It's inherently interesting. So being good isn't this boring, pseudo-Kantian thing of this huge pressure to like always overperform and overconform to a standard we can never meet. That's a common misconception of what ethics is. Ethics is a cut in reality itself. And we get to that cut in James Gunn's Superman. We are getting into a very non-ideological, highly ethical superhero tale there. If we look at like the Batman films, like the Nolan ones, we're dealing with a lot of ideology in Batman's position, especially in the third one with Bane, but also with the Joker film. There, it's this, the truth of the position is in the position of the villains. That's the position that reveals aspects of our society to ourselves and is persuasive, that we lock into. In the Joker film, we're dealing with the formation of society, similar to The Man Who Shot Liberty Vance, where we have the foundation of law itself. The founding violent act that allows for the establishment of law has to be committed for society to have its consistency and for it to have the law itself. But this act has to be disavowed by the law for the law to have its authority. So the person who, in the case of the Batman film, gets rid of, Two-Face, in the film it's Two-Face himself, but Batman has to take the fall in order for him and then be ousted. So we get a repetition of that act from the classic Western and, what society is on the frontier. But the difference there is we're in a normal society at that point. We're not on a frontier anymore. And so we're being manipulative. This is a fabrication in this, war on terror era of our society. So we lose that ethical fabric. You could try to argue that there is a mode of ethics in this like double giving up of the position. This hyper contemporary version of tragedy where you lose the most valuable parts of yourself, basically. But I do think we're locking into an ideological usage of this foundational act in that film. With the Bane film, it's even clearer that Batman is there to uphold society that Bane is critiquing. And we punish Bane for critiquing society radically, capitalism radically, and we get this happy ending for Batman because he upheld the way things should be. So that's not the interesting thing, right? We're dealing with the interest lies on the part of the villains, and the boring upholding way things should be is in the shoes of Batman. The reason Superman in the classic dynamic is boring isn't because he's too good. It's because he's in the position of upholding the world itself as this, you'd call it a master signifier. This way things should be that upholds the fabric of reality itself, and then it gets assaulted by villains and thwarted off, right? But the goodness that we get to, in especially James Gunn's Superman, is the most interesting thing there is. It's literally us at our most free. It's striking into this layering of good, ethics, love, politics, freedom. All of these things, come together at this point. This is literally us at our most human, what we're able to achieve. Not not to fill in some standard, some ethical standard, but to cut into the way things should be and build something new. That's essentially what we're getting to with that Superman film, but also when we're talking about like, being good, doing good. Fiction that's a delving into evil is boring, and it reveals how boring evil is, literally. This is not the same thing as ethically performing an act that's immoral, doing something wrong for not a higher cause, but, undergoing that cost. Most characters or people, when they perform an evil act, they do not live up to the evil that they're performing. They shirk off the responsibility onto society itself for one reason or another. They are doing something wrong for a dark god, an outside reason. So, ethics is taking full responsibility yourself. So you aren't ascribing what you're doing to a god figure or to society. You're taking it fully on your shoulders. You're admitting that what you do is a fulfillment of your desire, even though we have this difficult relationship with our own desire. It's something we wrestle with. So this is the divide between ethics and morality. Morality is, for other people / society, and ethics is for ourselves, for the standard we set for ourselves radically through our freedom. So not in an arbitrary sense. We have to take that stand. There is no wavering outside of it. That's where ethics lies. So, ethics cutting into immorality, ethically doing something that has harm involved in it, that's very interesting territory too. But it's where we take that responsibility fully, where things are actually interesting. But yeah, this touches on Hegel and Schelling in particular. That's where this understanding of freedom with ethics is based in. So it's very interesting stuff. But I'm just deeply impressed with how wonderfully ethical and interesting James Gunn's Superman is.